Welcome to the Deliverability Deep Dive.
By Mailmodo, and we are your hosts, Jane
and Tom. All right, we're diving deep today into something that might sound kind of technical at first, but I promise it's super important if you want your emails to actually get seen. Email deliverability metrics.
Yeah, you can think of these metrics as like the vital signs of your email campaigns. You know, they give you a peek into how healthy those emails are, whether they're actually landing in inboxes.
So it's more than just, hitting send and crossing your fingers.
Way more. Bad deliverability can actually end up hurting your brand. You know what I mean? Imagine all your emails just getting stuck in spam folders. Or even worse, bouncing back.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely not the look we're going for. So tell me, what are the metrics that we should be paying attention to?
All right, well, let's kick things off with like the most basic one, delivery rate.
Delivery rate. Okay, that sounds pretty straightforward. So is that like just making sure the email, doesn't bounce back?
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but a little bit more to it. Like the delivery rate actually tells you how many of your emails are like successfully accepted by the receiving mail server.
Okay, so it's like it's at least made it to their doorstep.
Exactly. Like it got delivered doesn't necessarily mean they're going to open it, but it's there.
Okay, I got it. So how do we calculate this magical delivery rate?
It's just simple math, really. You take the number of emails that were successfully delivered, right? Then you divide that by the total number that you sent out, and then boom, multiply by 100 to get your percentage.
Got it. High delivery rate, good. Low delivery rate, not so good. But it's tough to get number of emails delivered. So in reality, you cannot calculate the delivery rate like this because you would never know how many emails got delivered. Usually your ESPs report on the delivery rate, and they use another metric called bounce to calculate the delivery rate.
This is where things can get a little messy.
Bounce rate, is that like when you send a letter and it gets returned to sender because the address is wrong?
Exactly, you got it. This we have already discussed thoroughly in the previous chapter.
So how do we measure this bounce rate and know if we have a problem?
You take the number of emails that bounced back, right? Divide that by the total you sent and then multiply by 100.
So if we see a high bounce rate, that's basically a huge red flag that something is wrong, right?
Yeah.
Either with our email list or maybe the recipient server.
You got it. It's like a warning sign saying, hey, you need to figure out what's going on here and fix it,
Yeah.
before it messes up your whole campaign.
Makes total sense. Now, coming back to the delivery rate, it is usually calculated as the difference between the total emails sent and the emails bounced. So now you can use this to measure the delivery rate. So we've got delivery rate, we've got bounce rate. So say the email actually, gets delivered. What happens next?
Well, that's where the open rate comes in. This tells you how many people actually opened your email and looked at it.
Okay, so like if I send out 100 emails and 50 people open them, my open rate would be 50%.
Exactly, you're getting it. It's just the number of emails opened divided by the total number delivered times 100 to get that percentage.
Okay, feeling like I'm getting the hang of this. A very low open rate is usually an indicator or proxy for bad deliverability. And if you do get very poor open rates, beware about your emails landing in spam. What other metrics should we be watching?
All right, well, now we got to talk about the one that nobody wants to see go up, the spam complaint rate. So this metric is telling you how many people marked your email as spam. A high spam complaint rate can seriously hurt your sender reputation,
Ouch. Okay. So how do we even calculate that rate?
Theoretically, it's the number of spam complaints you get divided by the total number of emails you delivered. And then, as always, multiply by 100 to get your percentage. But you would never know the number of spam complaints for all the email clients and split for different campaigns. Google Postmaster offers a spam complaint rate, which denotes the number of spam reports your emails saw, but that's only for Gmail, and so realistically, it's not possible to measure this. The next best indicator of this metric is to refer to tools like Google Postmaster or SNDS. We will be covering Postmaster in a later episode.
Now, a high spam complaint rate basically means we need to take a good, hard look at our content and what we're doing.
Absolutely. It's a sign that something needs to change.
It's a red flag you can't ignore. All of those together really tell the story of how our emails are doing, huh?
They really do. If you want to be successful with email marketing, you got to understand these metrics. It's the key to landing in those inboxes and getting people to actually see your message.
I mean, it's kind of a lot to keep track of, So is there anything we can do, before we hit send, that will give our emails a better chance of not getting lost in the void?
Oh, yeah, for sure. There are definitely some tricks you can use. One of my favorites is something called seed list testing.
Seed list testing. What in the world is that?
Okay, so imagine you're sending out like a A little scout, right? Before your big email campaign goes out, like you send your email to a small group of email addresses first, just a test group.
So it's like a test run to see how the email is going to do out in the wild.
Yeah. Exactly. You can see how it looks on different devices,
Yeah.
different email providers, and you get like a heads up if it's going to trigger those spam filters.
That's smart.
Seedless testing, check. What else can we do before we hit send?
All right, well, another important one is something called content filtering testing. This helps you figure out how those spam filters are going to look at your email.
Content filtering. Ah, that sounds a little intense. What are these filters actually looking for?
Okay, so there are all these tools out there. One example is Spam Assassin, and what it does is it looks at the content of your email and it gives it a score, like a spam score.
A spam score.
Yeah, and they're checking for all sorts of things, like certain keywords that might be suspicious, or like using all caps, too many images, stuff like that. Even links to websites that look kind of sketchy. And with content filtering testing, you get to see your email through the eyes of that bouncer. So if your email gets a high spam score, you can tweak it, make it more inbox friendly.
So by doing these tests, we're basically increasing the chances that our emails are going to make it to the inbox, right? Avoiding that dreaded spam folder.
You got it. It's all about being proactive and smart. If we understand how those filters work and we optimize our content, we can make a huge difference in our deliverability. And that means our message is actually getting to the people we want to reach.
Email deliverability, it's like a mix of art and science, huh?
Sure.
We need to get the technical stuff, but we also have to be creative and connect with our audience.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's all about finding that balance.
Well, I've got to say, I've learned a ton today. Never thought I'd be so into email deliverability.
Well, there's always something new to learn in the world of email marketing. It's constantly changing, so it's important to stay up to date if you want to be successful.
And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive into the fascinating world of email deliverability. It's been awesome exploring all this with you. Until next time, everyone.